point that you make about the Germans and was it the Germans or was it the Nazis? Well, the Nazis were predominantly Germans, so in that respect it was obviously a Germanic fault. That said, there were so many good German people. There are so many good Ukrainian people, and there are so many good Russian people. We need to recognise the value of individual humans and the intrinsic value that an individual has. I'm not soft on any of this stuff. You know, I worked in the Cold War, and I worked against the old KGB, and I worked against the Russians. I'm very aware of their history and what they've done and all the rest of it. But I've met some amazing Russian people, and I've met some amazing Ukrainian people. And the people themselves are not the issue. It is the political system that is the issue. Not just in Russia either. I think in the West as well. The political system in the West is corrupted purely by the love of money. It's all driven by capitalism, by finance. And if you've got money, you're going to stay in power. You're going to get into power. And if you've got money, you're going to stay in power. And if you've got money, you're going to be able to have a life of Riley while you swan around the world, strutting your stuff on world stages. When in reality, you need to get to grips with the people that you're supposed to be leading. But we have no leadership.
A lot of people would say it's the curse of capitalism, globalization. Well, no, you only have to go back to the 18th century and look at mercantilism and physiognomy. The idea is you were rich if you had land or you were rich if you had trade. And the British Empire and the French would go out there to grab it at all costs. And again, that ultimately comes down to wealth.
It's all driven by the spirit of mammon, mate, the love of money. It's a great shame because there are some amazing people in this world. As we talked about on our last discussion around foreign runs ashore. I've travelled all around the globe. I've stepped off ships in the middle of some real rough old places, and I've met the most amazing people. It's the politicians that let us down.
We'll have to do an episode just on politicians.
Yeah, that would probably be unairable.
Boring.
It's a tragic situation for both Ukraine and Russia. Russia were foolish for going in and incredibly wrong for going in. But I do think that there are circumstances that we need to understand as to why they did that, because it's not black and white.
So the West is equally as culpable perhaps as the East?
I think the West has got a lot of questions that should be answered, but the West has had lots of questions that they should have answered since 1990 in the Gulf Wars. Over the last 30 years, I do not believe the West has covered itself in glory.
Food for thought for next time.
Bye-bye.
Take care, mate.